Minister Gungubele is now at the podium. Let's take you there live.
Let me say good morning, ladies and gentlemen, South African media, and thank you for your attendance to actually assist us to communicate with the people of our country. Lest I forget, I must first say I wish you a happy Christmas and a wonderful New Year. Lest I forget. On the International Anti-Corruption Day, ladies and gentlemen, when the cabinet met, we took a view to join, as South Africa, to join the rest of the world in commemorating International Anti-Corruption Day on Thursday, 9 December 2021, under the theme Open Quote, a corruption-free future starts today. It starts with me, close quote. The United Nations theme for 2021 International Anti-Corruption Day is, open quote, your right, your role, say no to corruption, close quote. Those are catchy phrases against this scourge of humanity. Corruption, whether large or small, remains one of the greatest challenges facing the country and holds back economic growth and social development. Cabinet remains encouraged that the justice system continues to take decisive steps to bring those who are found to have been involved in acts of corruption to account. The Commission of Inquiry into allegations of state capture, corruption, and fraud in the public sector, including organs of state, is scheduled to submit its final report to President Cyril Ramaphosa on Saturday, 1st January 2022. Watch the space. Cabinet anticipates that in addition to exposing the perpetrators of corruption, this report will also provide us with proposal to strengthen our system to prevent corruption. As part of our ongoing fight against corruption, the Special Investigation Unit instituted a number of cases in the High Court and Special Tribunal, and the following are pending as at 31st March 2021. 56 cases in the High Court, which involves contracts in the amount of 62 billion. 64 cases in the Special Tribunal, which involves contracts in the amount of 6.99 billion. The amounts of values are the contractual amounts which were irregularly and unlawfully awarded by the state institutions and which form the subject of the litigation by the SIU. In the final year 2021-2022, the SIU has already frozen pension benefits of former civil servants, bank accounts and assets of individuals, and business amounting to more than 43 billion. The President has signed a total of 9 SIU proclamations in the final year under review. That's the progress in as far as the state dealing with corruption. Cabinet reiterates that the success of our fight against corruption depends on the involvement of all people in South Africa. If you see something, say something, report corruption by dialing the National Anti-Corruption Hotline on 0800 701 701. Cabinet reaffirmed its commitment to protect whistleblowers and applauded the bravery of the honest public servants who expose fraud and corruption, at times at the risk of their livelihoods and lives. In other words, this is one area we are convinced we may need to improve our vigilance in as far as the safety of these individuals. 2, on the rapid increase in coronavirus disease infections, Cabinet noted the rapid increase in COVID-19 infections in various parts of South Africa and urge all people in the country to take stronger action to fight back against disease and its variants. Our COVID-19 infections recorded in the last 24 hours stands at 19,842, which translates into 26.8% positivity rate. We have also lost 36 people to COVID-19 related complications in the last 24 hours. Vaccination does not only help us fight back against the deadly pandemic by preventing serious illnesses, hospitalization, or even death, but it also reduces the health risk posed by future variants. We must continue adhering to the non-pharmaceutical prevention measures of wearing a mask that covers our mouth and nose, maintaining social distancing, and regularly washing our hands with soap and water or using a 70 alcohol-based hand sanitizer. We can also prevent the spread of the virus by avoiding super spreader events such as festivals and parties. Together we can fight back by being responsible and always acting in the best interest of protecting the health of our loved ones and our nation against COVID-19. Cabinet joined President Ramaphosa in applauding our scientists for having alerted the world about the Omicron variant that has been spreading around the world. Cabinet continues to support calls for the immediate lifting of unfair travel bans imposed on our country, and in particular Southern Africa. On the Vuma Vaccination Week, we've administered a total of 26,781,642 vaccine doses to date. During the extended Vuma Vaccination Week campaign from 3 to 10 December 2021, thousands of people are being vaccinated at various vaccination sites that are open throughout the country. Cabinet has urged people aged 12 and older to vaccinate without delay. Keep yourself and your loved ones safe this festive season by simply going to your nearest vaccination site, even without an appointment, to be registered and vaccinated for free. The health benefits of being vaccinated include a much lower risk of hospitalization after being infected with COVID-19. Cabinet encouraged all people in South Africa to respond to the clarion call to vaccinate, because statistics show that the majority of people being admitted in hospital are those who have not vaccinated. On the quarterly labor force survey, government remains resolute in addressing unemployment as one of the major challenges facing the country. State South Africa recent survey results, which showed 0.5% point increase in the unemployment rate from 34.4% in the second quarter to 34.9% in the third quarter, is quite disturbing. Government continues in its target-driven work to restore business confidence by addressing structural reforms or structural constraints to economic growth. Through specific interventions such as large investment in infrastructure, it is working to support structural transformation, economic growth, and job creation. And in the infrastructure, we have committed no less than 340 billion thus far. Through the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition, government continues to support local production, including the revival of South Africa's manufacturing industry. The annual South Africa Investment Conference, commonly referred to as SAIC, continues to attract potential investors. Since its inaugural conference in 2018, the SAIC has so far secured more than 770 billion in investment commitments across a wide range of economic sectors. Cabinet remains committed to working with sectors to address the triple challenge of unemployment, poverty, and inequality. Government will do whatever is possible to create a conducive environment for investment in the country. It will also drive economic transformation to enable greater economic opportunities to the previously disadvantaged groups. On the presidential four-nation visit to West Africa, President Ramaphosa recently led a delegation of ministers and business leaders with view to grow economic relations and people-to-people interaction between South Africa and Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Senegal, where no less than 14 trade agreements were signed. This four-nation visit from 30 November to 7 December 2021 reinforced South Africa's bilateral relations to strengthen partnership directed at African development and cooperation in multilateral forums. South Africa and the partner states explored ways to leverage the opportunities presented by the African Continental Free Trade Area for mutual benefit, and with greater support for businesses conducting intra-Africa trade and investment. On the 16 days of activism, no violence against women and children. As the 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children campaign draws to an end, for the purpose of a particular phase of this program, which is a whole year event, it remains a disturbing reality that more still needs to be done to eradicate gender-based violence in femicide in our society, I beg your pardon. Many harrowing GBV-related stories, including the loss of lives, have been reported during this period and throughout the entire extended 365 days of activism campaign. We are failing as a nation when the cries of most vulnerable in our society remain unheard or ignored. The irresponsible societal norms which validate the violent behavior of men and the tendency to victimize women who break their silence must stop. Cabinet appealed to everyone, especially men, to take stand and play an active role in ending the scourge of violence against women and children. Men must lead by speaking out against GBVF and reporting it to law enforcement agents. They must also raise awareness and engage in peer education and efforts to prevent GBVF. In order to improve our response to sexual offenses, gender-based violence, government has 106 sexual offenses courts, and now moving to the introduction of statutory sexual offenses courts. In February 2020, Section 55A of the Criminal Law, Sexual Offenses and Related Matters Amendment Act was signed into operation, meaning that for the first time, sexual offenses court will now be established in accordance with the statutes. Section 55A of the Act empowers the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services to designate not only a selected regional courts but also any division of the High Court as a sexual offense court. Cabinet urged all sectors of society to collaborate with government to create safer communities and protect victims of abuse. It will only change if we all act, and the time to act is now. On the cabinet decision, ladies and gentlemen, on the extension of the national state of disaster, Cabinet approved a recommendation by the National Coronavirus Command Council to further extend the national state of disaster to 15 January 2022 in terms of Section 27, subsection 5, paragraph C of the Disaster Management Act 2002, Act 57 of 2002. The national state of disaster is aimed at responding to the special circumstances presented by the COVID-19 pandemic. On the festive season, safety. While most of us will be taking a well-deserved festive break, we must remember that COVID-19 does not take a holiday. A safe holiday period for you and your loved ones can be guaranteed by a simple jab at your nearest vaccination site. Cabinet calls on everyone to continue to be vigilant and avoid large social gatherings. Together we can make the festive season a joyous and a safe one for everyone by not drinking and driving. We must obey all the rules of the road, including driving within the legal speed limits. Let us all make an effort to arrive alive. Cabinet called on parents and caregivers to be extra vigilant with the children in their care, especially at pools, beaches, or near water. To ensure a safe festive season, be alert at all times when on holiday or during leisure moments. Report any suspicious criminal activity immediately to the police on 10111 or alert the nearest security offices. Special messages on congratulations. Cabinet extended its congratulations and well wishes to President Ramaphosa on being bestowed with the doctorate honors causa from Sheikh Anta Diop University in Dakar, Senegal, which is recognized as one of Africa's and the world's preeminent universities. 29 years ago, former President Nelson Mandela was awarded the same doctorate at a time when our nation was not yet free. It is fitting that President Ramaphosa has been awarded this prestigious honor in the year that we commemorate the 25th anniversary of our Constitution being signed into law. On the Blitzborg for triumphing twice in 2 weekends during the prestigious Dubai Sevens Rugby Tournament. Indeed, they showed us a lot of sparks. They became such an inspiration as they have done for many years. On the condolences, Cabinet expressed condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Comrade Ismail Ibrahim at an age of 84, the former Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation. Comrade EB, as he was affectionately known to his friends and comrades, dedicated his life to the struggle for democracy and freedom and worked steadfastly to build a better South Africa for all. Ambassador Lindiwe Mabuza at 83, the veteran diplomat, poet, feminist, and struggle icon who served in several diplomatic postings. In 2014, she received the Order of Ikamanga in silver for her excellent contribution to mobilizing the use of arts and application of creativity for democracy, displaying that cultural activism played a significant role in achieving democracy. On the appointments, ladies and gentlemen, you will read for yourselves, and thank you for listening.